Hello everyone, and welcome to Cars, Grilling, and Technology. This is Will. Hey, something that we've never done on the channel before is I've got a brisket here. This is a 15-pound brisket that I got at Costco for right at $61. I had a couple of my friends that have looked at the channel and they said, hey, do you have a brisket video up there? And I did not. And actually, this is the first brisket I've done since Christmas, so it's been a while. So my family wanted one for the holiday, so here we have it. It is the day before Labor Day, so we're gonna go ahead and get this in. I'm gonna show you how, I'm no expert on trimming these. I just use like a common sense approach, and everyone says that, you know, you wanna try to keep the fat down to like 1/4 of an inch. So that's basically how I look at this and how I view it. The only thing about getting these from Costco, now I do, after a while on the channel, I do have a couple of preferred places that I like to go to get my meat before I cook, but unfortunately, I was not able to get to any of those, so we had to go to Costco. They had a lot of briskets there, but a lot of them have a lot of fat. Like there's fat on both sides of this. But basically what I'm gonna do is, and I normally don't cut what they call the mohawk, but to get at some of this other fat that's in here, I might have to cut that out. It's not gonna hurt anything if I leave it on. It's not really gonna hurt anything if I cut it off. But you see there's like fat everywhere on here. So any little fat like this that I can pull, I'll just start, you know, with that. But it seems like every brisket I get from Costco has a big, gigantic fat cap right here that's usually pretty hard. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this out of here just to show you. That is a pretty good amount of fat here. You know, I might have gone a little bit too far on here, but that's okay because it's kind of hard to see because this is hard fat. We're going to trim back a little bit more right in this area. And that's pretty good. We'll cut a little bit off of here. Like I said, I'm no expert at this. I just go by and anything that's like really, really hard and thick, I go ahead and cut it off because, you know, it's not like this is going to be in any competitions or anything. But anything that looks really thick is what we cut off. Like I've got a corner here. It looks like it's got a pretty good amount of fat, so we're going to cut that off also. I'm trying to see, you know, like in this area here, along the edges, I don't mind if I cut too far and expose the meat because that will hold rub a little bit better. So I'm not too concerned about that. But as you see on this one side, there is a lot of fat that's coming off of here. We'll maybe cut a little bit more off. This little area here. And maybe a little more. It's kind of hard to tell, but you know, we're gonna go ahead and go for it here. Yeah, a lot of this on this corner is all fatty. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish trimming this up. Then I'm gonna come back right when it's time to put this on the smoker. But like I said, I'm no expert. So, I mean, I always feel that it's better to cut a little bit too less fat than it is to cut too much, if that makes sense. And I probably am going to cut this part off here. I say this is a big thick piece of fat right here on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then right when I'm getting ready to season it, I'll come back. I normally don't use a binder. I mean, I did with the first few briskets that I did, but you know, lately, you know, I just haven't been using them and everything has come out fine. So we're probably not going to use a binder for this. So stay tuned. I'll be back. Okay, I am back. As you see, I've got it trimmed up pretty good. I don't know how many pounds of my 15 pounds is right here, but this is quite a bit of fat. This is on the, I think I'm gonna take a little bit more of this off. What's called the meat side, which is what everybody says is the meat side, because it's usually not that fatty, but there was a lot of fat on here. I'm gonna go ahead and take some more of this off because it is hard fat. So I'm pretty sure that should render. But these are my weapons of choice for this cook. I've got my meter wireless thermometer system. If you guys are not hip to this, I'll put a link to the description. I did a video on this. These are some really awesome thermometers. They're a little pricey, but the app that comes with it is really, really good. So if you're looking for something that'll make it easier to monitor your food, I would definitely recommend these. This is what we're using today. We're going to use the Kinder's The Blend. I found this at Costco maybe a couple of months ago, and I really, really like this rub. We're also going to kick it up some. We always like to do something spicy, so we're going to use some some ground red pepper. This is actually cayenne pepper. And then, of course, slap your daddy, and we're doing the hot rub. So we're going to put the blend on here. This is like a salt, pepper, garlic blend. So we're going to put some of this on here first. Then we're going to follow it up with the cayenne pepper. Then we're going to follow it up with slap your daddy. So like I said, I'm not going to record me sprinkling seasoning on this meat, but I'm going to get this seasoned up, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I'll meet you guys back at the grill. We're using the Yoder YS1500. We're going to do it for 225. We're going to wrap it in parchment paper at 160, and it's going to take however long it takes. So stay tuned. I'll be back. Well, I'm back. Well, I'm back. Here we are. It is on the smoker. It is 10:25 p.m. here in Cleveland, Ohio. So we're going to see how long this is going to take. I'm expecting it to be at least 13, 14 hours. So let me go ahead and get this closed up so it can actually start cooking. And I'll keep you posted. We should not have to come back to this until we're ready to wrap it. Stay tuned. This is going to be good. Hello everyone, this is Will again. So it's been, I'd say, right about 5 hours. I'm talking kind of low because even though there is space between me and my neighbors, I don't want to be out here talking really loud. It's about 3:30 in the morning, so that gets us at about 5 hours. Now we're looking. That is starting to render. And it is still a long ways to go. This is showing right around 160, 165. This is ready to wrap. Pull this off, and I'll meet you back inside. Back out. Stay tuned. So we're back, and basically, you know, we've got it on the paper. So, you know, it's a pretty big brisket, but it should be enough to get it wrapped up pretty good. So, you know, the one thing you just want to keep in mind is we're doing this fat side up. So when you're wrapping it, you've got to remember which side is which once you're wrapping it, to make sure that you put it back on that side up. So once you know that this is up, down, and down. So right here we know that we're still fat side up. Wrap this little piece underneath here. There you have it. That's all there is to the wrapping of it. We're going to put our thermometer back in here. That's it for the wrapping. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back out on the grill, and don't know how many more hours it's going to be because we probably haven't gone through the stall yet. So we're looking at probably another, 3 or 4 hours or so. But I am not going to come back until this gets to right around 200 degrees when we're getting ready to turn it. Take it off of the smoker and then put it in the cooler for it to rest. So that's it for now. Stay tuned. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, so when you're using a pellet cooker, you've got to be careful of one thing. And the last time I did a brisket was in December, and I used the big green egg when I cooked that one. So last night when I wrapped this, I made a rookie mistake. I did something that I said I wasn't going to do, but I forgot. And when I wrapped it, I did not check to see how my pellets looked, and I ran out. Good news is the grill is still at about 150 degrees. So once I fill this thing back up with pellets and get it back up to temperature, we should be fine. But hey, sometimes it just happens. Stay tuned. So I am back at the Yoder YS1500. The internal temperature is at about 190. It's in between 195 200 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off. We're not going to eat for a few hours. So all we're going to do right now is we're just going to move this from the grill to this Yeti cooler, and that's where we're going to let it rest up until we're ready to cut it. Yeti coolers, I complained a lot when I bought this cooler, and I plan on getting one that's a little bit bigger just for barbecuing, because that brisket's barely going to fit in here, but we'll get it in there. They're very expensive, but they are worth everything that you pay for them. It is 10:30, and even with my little mistake, this brisket cooked was about 12 hours, and we're probably not going to eat for another maybe 4 or 5 hours. And when I take that brisket out of this Yeti, it's still going to be warm. So definitely worth the money. Something else I want to mention real quick is with the hopper. If you've been watching any of my videos, I used to have a Yoder YS640. So I'm using the habits I had with the YS640, where I could have easily filled that up and had a brisket on there at 225 and would not have run out of pellets. But of course, now that I have a Yoder YS1500, then it burns more fuel, and this is the first long cook I've done with it. So lesson learned. I'm usually in the habit of, when I wrap a brisket, to just go ahead and top off the hopper. And last night or early this morning, for whatever reason, I was just tired and said, let me just get this thing wrapped and put it back on there. So lesson learned, but we should still be in good shape. I'm going to come back right when we're getting ready to unwrap and cut this. So stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got the brisket. We just took it out of the Yeti cooler. Like I said, it took about 12 hours for this to cook, and it's been in the Yeti for about 4 hours, and it is still warm. We're going to go ahead and open this up and see how we did. I mean, there's juice everywhere, so I think that we'll be okay. Because if you remember, I made a mistake with the smoker and ended up running out of pellets. But I mean, this paper is just soaked in juice, which is a good thing. Like I said, this is still warm, which is also a good thing. This is really soft and tender. I can tell that already. So let me go ahead and cut into this, see what we got here. This is looking good. So you always want to cut about the size of a pencil. I'm just going to hold a piece of this. See, look at that. Like I said, it's still warm. You know, the pull test, I mean, it pulls right apart, which is a great thing. We're going to go ahead and get a little bite, see what we got. But you can see how juicy it is. So I'm thankful of that my little miscalculation didn't cause the brisket to dry out. But let's go ahead and see how we did. I'll tell you what, some good brisket on the smoker never gets old. You can see it's tender, it's loaded with juice. So this is a big hit. You can see it's got the smoke ring. So other than the pellet mistake, I would say this brisket is a big hit. We're going to be serving this up to some family and friends later. I know they're going to love it. So that's going to be it for this video. Once again, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, and we'll catch you for the next one. Thanks.